Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is February the 6th, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. We had a nice Thursday at work. It was solid. Pretty decent pace, but overall it was cool. A bit of an update on the leak in my trash compactor. A couple of contract guys from another company, whatever. They were doing an inspection. So mind you, the people I've been harassing in maintenance to be like, hey, can you please send someone, please, please, please. They finally came over, but they weren't sent to me. They were just doing a check. And as they were talking amongst themselves, because they said, oh, it looks like this is leaking. Oh, well, maybe it's from rain or something. And I was like, no, it's been leaking like that all week. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, well, we'll take some pictures. We'll come back to this. So I'm hoping that there's a resolution to that in the near future. I don't like getting leaked on. I did have a fun little moment though, because sometimes the guys from maintenance will come over to my side of the area, hang out in the trash compactor, yap it up with me a little bit. And two of them were sitting there or standing there, and one of them was just getting randomly dripped on, and he kept ugh, ugh. And I kept laughing and then telling the other guy, see, this is what happens when you don't fix a problem. So nice little serendipity there. Maybe that's how you use the word, right? But yeah, overall, good day. It was solid. We got through work. We did another good day at the gym. I banged out some good sets for myself. It felt good, feeling strong. I don't know. It always feels good in the gym. You know what I mean? Sometimes yes, you take some L's, but overall, I really do feel like it is a rewarding thing. And not to spam that or be that kind of guy oh, you should go to the gym, blah blah blah. But definitely we are on month 5. I would recommend it to anyone who asked. That is for sure. Anyway, enough of the PSA bullshit. Let's go ahead and do our. Oh no! Wait, this time I do have a food corner. We ate some food. I made, and I gotta say, this was kind of an L. This might have been the. This is not a great meal. It wasn't a great meal. I feel like I salvaged it, but let's talk about it. Y'all know how I like I still can never get their name right, but it's Belogi or something like that, or something with a B. And they make these Korean inspired food things in a bag or in a box. Oh, not, I've only had it in a box, but technically when you open up the box, there's a bag. Anyway, this wasn't the chicken. This was a beef and rice bowl. Y'all know I'm pretty well acquainted with the beef and rice bowl, especially of the Mexican variety. So you're saying Korean inspired? All right, I'm down. Let's go. Let's dig in. I pop open the box and I see these 2 bags of rice. There's no kind of there's no kind of bouillon cube. There's no kind of way of moisturizing it, and the directions are not telling me to do so. And I'm like, this is crazy. This is some stupid shit. This is not going to turn out well. So I say fuck it. Let's just try it out though. Let's just see what we can do. Plus I have some remaining ground beef. So I figured, hey, we'll mix that into it, make it a little bit more hearty or heartier, whatever. See how that turns out, right? I'm gonna hope and pray here. I did what I could. I whipped it up in the skillet. I didn't get any sides because, like I said, I literally did not have any faith in this meal. And I'm like, I don't want to have any sides with an entree that's just garbage. No, thank you. I take a piece of, as it's wrapping up, I get a little, what's the word here? Spatula, not a spatula. What's the thing I use? We'll say a spoonful. That works. Anyway, I get a forkful of the shit. I eat it, I try it, and it's just the chewiest meat. It's the chewiest meat. So I'm like, thank God I added some ground beef. That's good. But overall, then not to mention, I tried to add a little bit of water to kind of make it, a little bit more stable in the skillet, not stick to anything. And maybe that was a mistake because it made it more mushy, right? So overall, not looking good. But I was like, you know what? We just sauce it up. We sauce it up. We do too much, and we see what happens. So I spiced it up, put some lettuce on, a little extra there, and gave it the whole whirl. Overall, it was edible. You know what I mean? It's not the worst thing I've ever had. I don't even know if I'm really thinking about it. I think I've already had at least one bad meal this year. So this is like what, number 2? And overall, it wasn't the worst thing ever. Didn't make me lose faith in the food. So there you go. That's good. Clap it up for that. But yeah, never again. One and done on that. I will stick to the Korean fried chicken inspiration there. That's good. That's a solid go-to for the bulgogi. I'm still getting it wrong. I don't care. Who gives a shit? You're not taking my food advice and going to buy this shit at your local Kroger. And if so, actually let me know. That would be cool. That'd be kind of fucking dope. Anyway, that's it for the food corner. Like I said, it was food. We ate it. We're back. We're so back. Let's go ahead and do our startup and get into some news. And actually, I want to double back to the gym because I had a cool interaction with a friend that kind of, I don't know, just kind of goes into a bit of my psyche and how I'm too shy sometimes for a guy so loud. But I run into a friend at the gym, and we like to chop it up for like a few minutes or so, just catch up real quick. And they randomly asked me, they said, "Hey, do you have a Patreon?" And I was so thrown off by that question that I like immediately goes, "Oh yeah, no, I do, like for my podcast." And then they said, "You have a podcast?" Which threw me off because it's like, wait, that's such a backwards entry into this conversation. Usually we're talking about the Patreon because you've at least listened and then heard about me talking about the Patreon that I have. So you just know that I have. Okay, so I'm trying to explain myself and what I've been doing for years, and why I have this Patreon, and I'm just internally like collapsing because it's just hard for me to, in the real world, tell people that I do this shit. I don't know why. Believe it or not, y'all, I'm actually a shy guy. Like, despite the fact that you might know me as this boisterous, loud motherfucker, or however you perceive me, I actually, deep down inside, I'm just this 5-year-old who's like too scared to like actually talk too much. I would rather be mousy. I'd rather not be perceived. There's somewhere in my core that is a mixture. That is a percentage of me, right? And so that conversation threw me off, but in a good way, because it's like, hey, friends showing interest in you is always good. That's a good talk. We love that. Helps the ego a little bit. But overall, it's like, I feel like I got to get better. This is a work in progress for me. It's just being like, no, Isaiah, be confident in your shitty little podcast. You know exactly what you do. You do it every fucking day. Rain, snow, sleet, or hail. And that's something, okay? Whether you're just on your Renee Zellweger, blog shit, which it's Bridget Jones. I'm always referencing Bridget Jones. But anyway, you can own it. It's good. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing to be ashamed of, right? Podcasting is not cringe. But yeah, no, I thought that was a fun little interaction, and I'm spending too much time talking about it. But it made my day because, it's always nice whether or not my friend actually winds up listening or whatever, becoming a newsie or not. I appreciate anyone showing interest in what I'm doing in general. That's just cool shit. That's just good friend shit. We love that. So, yeah. But yeah, to all my people who do listen, who do validate my podcasting experience, thank you so much. I'm putting heart emojis through the microphone right now. You can't see that because this is not a visual thing, but it's happening. Hopefully you feel the love. Anyway, let's go ahead and do our startup, and let's get into some news. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, sorry. I had to double dip the chip there. All right. I bet you can guess. I bet y'all can guess what we're about to talk about. From Reuters. Trump imposes sanctions on International Criminal Court. If you guessed Trump, ding, 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 correct. U.S. President Donald Trump on Thursday authorized economic and travel sanctions targeting people who work on International criminal court investigations of U.S. citizens or U.S. allies such as Israel, repeating action he took in his first term. So technically, once again, not a new move from Trump. Potentially more of a smoother execution than maybe last time. We'll see how this goes, of course. He hasn't, I think, come out with the names yet. But that being said, there's going to be sanctions coming for the people who are essentially doing their job, which is calling out war criminals, which Benjamin Netanyahu fucking is. Which we just had that motherfucker on a goddamn podium in the goddamn White House, smiling, smirking with fucking Donald Trump while he talks about fucking ethnic cleansing. Like, it's a good thing. So yeah, no, but that's the International Criminal Court's fault for trying to do anything to him. What the fuck were y'all thinking? The fuck? Not only are we not going to uphold that, we're gonna make you guys the bad guy. That is the plan from Donald Trump, dude. It's crazy that this is a classic plan from the Trump administration. That this is just what they do. This is how they move. This is how they fucking operate. But it just doesn't it feel sinister? Like, it is one of those things when you look at this shit on a day-to-day basis and you just have to remind yourself that it's like, fuck, I'm an American. Like, I'm a part of the shit in one way, shape, or form or another. Not just my taxpayer dollars, but also this fucking orange clown show that we have. That's tied to me in some way, shape, or form. If I took my shit abroad and I was in Spain, if I was in fucking India, if I was in fucking name your country here, I would be that American. And people could potentially have that impression of me. Now, perception doesn't fucking matter. Whatever. Who gives a fuck? But that being said, it sucks. It sucks. And I hate that feeling. I've always hated that feeling when it comes to being in a Trump administration. I'm not gonna lie though, no bullshit. The fact that he is keeping more of his social shit to True Social does make it easier. And maybe that's me being like, oh, you're being, you're putting your head in the sand. Sure, whatever, of course. But like, I hated seeing him tweet all of the fucking time, dude. Like, there's something that's kind of nice, the fact that he's actually financially tied, contractually tied to that stupid ass app that only fucking MAGA people use. No one uses True Social. You are a journalist or you're a fucking guy who got pardoned for the January 6th shit. Like, no one uses True Social, bro. I have to hear about this shit via a news outlet who read it. That's the only way I know he's talking about any kind of shit on there. But he's not really on Twitter. The problem, though, with this version is that Elon Musk is running overtime for the Trump administration. He is literally the first buddy in chief. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how much influence, how much power he has. I mean, there's potentially some lawsuits in the work that might potentially crib some of this power that he has as this Doge, non-elected, but like imbued with this access that he can just like look at your fucking social security, like your bank information. He can just do that shit. He's done that shit now. It's just a question of, can we curb that so he doesn't continue to do that at will, at whims? You know, he's plugged into all the government shit now. It's insane. We've talked about it at least in a couple times, but I mean, it's a wild situation at play here. So yeah, I just wanted to start off with that. But speaking of kind of the counterplay between the Trump administration and literally the government itself, because I don't even want to say in the Democrats are doing filibusters, by the way. They're doing like protests on it, dude. Like, that's not doing anything. Like, okay, remember we talked about how they're gonna like try to like stop and protest the confirmations? Well, guess what? They can't do anything. So like, people are still getting their confirmations. You know what I mean? They're still getting the fucking roll. There's nothing you're not stopping that. This is bullshit. So, you know, motherfuckers with no spine, no teeth. But yeah, they're writhing around trying to help us out. Even though they don't really think that they should change it. I could get in the whole weeds about just where the Democrats are at, but like, fuck that. Fuck them. Shit really does feel like we're on our own out here, bro. But yeah, from Politico, judge temporarily blocks Trump's exit plan for federal employees. A judge temporarily blocked the Trump administration from moving forward with its plan to cull the federal workforce until at least last week. Excuse me. Senior District Judge George O'Toole extended a deadline that was set to kick in at the end of the day, Thursday, so as to allow time for additional legal briefs to be submitted ahead of a hearing at 2 p.m. on Monday. He also instructed the Trump administration to swiftly notify workers of the order freezing implementation of the deferred resignation program, which excuses government excuse me, excuses government employees from the White House's return to office mandate, and allows them to maintain their pay and benefits through September 30th. O'Toole, an appointee of President Bill Clinton, noted that his freeze was just table setting for the hearing and was not an indication of his eventual ruling. So essentially, this truly is just a pause. It's not like we're saying, oh, this is so audacious. This is so, like, you can't do this, da-da-da-da, like one judge said about the birthright citizenship shit. This is simply saying, hey, I am just doing the pause because we do have to do the pause. Now, Trump's legal team are saying, hey, they didn't file this shit in time. The unions didn't do their due diligence here. This shouldn't be going through. But luckily it is. Thank God it is. But yeah, I mean, this is unfortunate. Imagine if you are a government employee. This has got to be some shit that's making your head spin, especially if you were saying, hey, I'm not going to fight this shit, dude. I'm not beating this wave. Let me just fucking take my money. Just give me my money and I'll cut my losses. But at the end of the day, this is fucked up. This is supposed to be a job that you get and you grow. And with the experience that you acquire in the job, you then can pass that along all the way. And then it just all kind of flows itself out. Like, this is the way it's supposed to be. Also, this is not a biased situation. It's not like he's firing like a bunch of Biden government workers. Like, these are people who are just supposed to be part of the installation. And he's saying, no, that's not enough. Because part of the installation stopped me from my fucking legendary back-to-back run where I lost, but I didn't lose. So everyone's got to go. I want to start at zero and build it up. That is essentially what the admin wants here. That is what the Trump administration is gunning for here. And if they can get it, as much of a purge as they can get, they'll take it. So in this regard, they're down to do the fight. They're down to go through the legal rigmarole. But I just can't imagine being a government employee in this situation. I remember kind of growing up, especially getting into my like early 20s, that was kind of the idea, right? Like that you would get into a potential government job if you wanted some steady pay, some steady money. Joke's on me. I discovered marijuana and I was like, they make you pee all the time, right? I don't think I could do that. Whatever that is, I couldn't do it. No thanks. But yeah, like that was one of the jobs that you could always get. Now, granted, I also kind of learned, after that fact quickly, it was like, oh, well, you don't get paid that much money, but you get paid a wage that you can live with, that you can work with, right? And it's something. But that being said, imagine you're in the situation, you're here for the long haul, you got the job, you're going to work your way up. And now there's a Trump 2.0 that's saying, hey man, we don't want you here. Whoever the fuck you are, we don't care. Just get the fuck out. It's like, just leave. This is your quote unquote fork in the road. We're doing X at the government right now, okay? That's where we're at. So just get the fuck, take your money and go. That is essentially the plan here. But now you have this block coming, or it's happened now, and now you're like, well, now what? Now what do I do? Like, am I rooting for the shit to go through so I can just get my money and go? Like, or now am I going to fight this shit out? Like, once again, I'm glad the block happened personally, because it's just fucked up. All the shit that Trump is doing is fucked up, by the way. I shouldn't have to fucking say that. Which is always fun to have that conversation with maintenance people who go, oh, actually, these couple things are good. Like, bro, you cannot be pro this fucking deportation bullshit. But guess what? I live in Ohio, y'all. So yeah, you can believe it. Some motherfuckers are. They think it's a good thing. Oh my God. I don't even want to tell y'all about some of the crash outs I've had over the past, like, just even today. Like, I'm glad that motherfuckers fuck with me, even though I think they're pieces of shit, and maybe they think I'm a piece of shit too. Because sometimes I gotta keep it real with them. Like, bro, you, like, the shit you were saying to me is so vile, and I know you picked this shit up from, like, Fox News, and plus you're a prick. But, like, brother, like, you can't think this way. You can't be this way. But here you are. So I'm gonna, politely as I can, or maybe not so much so, tell you to fuck yourself. Like, just crazy. Anyway, I'm yapping. I'm in a yap max mode right now. we've riffed enough about this. You're caught up enough. We'll see how this goes. I really hope this is one of the things that gets shot down, but we've talked about it. Trump is just trying to flood the zone with so much bullshit, dude. And whatever sticks is fine with him. He's happy with that. Something I haven't really noted on, and I haven't, drawn any. I don't have any specifics laid out. We're moving on to some other stuff, but I did want to mention people actually coming out and protesting. I think that's been a good thing that's happened. Even though I know you're going up against a steep opposition, but showing out, I believe that there were people coming out in LA, like just out in the street, like I might have even been the freeway, or I'm getting the details totally fucked up here. Once again, this is full riff, but people come out and protesting. I've heard about people protesting in, Cincinnati. I definitely imagine that shit's all over, period. I know that government workers who are saying, hey, no, I'm fighting over this. This is just my job. I went hard to get this goddamn job, and I'm doing this shit. Fuck you, Trump. I'm going to work under you, you bitch. And they're coming out in D.C. and protesting. So, I mean, shit, it's a thing. I'm not going to lie. This is me being, once again, completely candid. Motherfuckers branding themselves as the resistance, especially this time around, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't, because it seems very weak. It seems very stringy, and more times than not, you're just posting on Facebook. That's your resistance. You're just posting on social media. That's your resistance. Like, I'm just saying, you can at least go out and do something. You can at least have, like, real conversations with people wherever you're at, or in DMs. That's where it's fine to be digital, whatever, but, like, I don't know, man. Just saying, we're the resistance. And then just, I don't know, going back to eating your fucking TV dinner Lunchables. Like, what the fuck? It doesn't do anything. It's weird to me to even brand yourself like that. But that's peak liberalism. Or leftism for some people who think that they're doing it that way. I don't know. But hey, I mean, do your thing. Go cook. But I am happy to see people actually saying, no, dude, this shit's fucked up. And I know it might just be, a photo op, but at least we're going to say, no, fuck you for real, dog. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's move on. We got some baseball talk a little bit here from ABC News. Well, it's really not baseball talk. Y'all know me. From ABC News, Shohei Ohtani's ex-interpreter sentenced to nearly 5 years in fraud case. So we're back, and we finally have a closeout for Epi. I'm sure I'm getting that name wrong. I'm going to say Epi. I can't decide. Am I Epi or Epi? Epi Mizuhara, the former interpreter for MLB star Shohei Ohtani, was sentenced to nearly 5 years in federal prison on Thursday on charges relating to stealing nearly $17 million from the Dodgers player. The sentence was handed down nearly a year after the gambling controversy first surfaced. Actually, give me a second. I'm going to take a little water break. Thanks for bearing with me. Mizuhara, 40, admitted to fraudulently transferring the money from Ohtani's account for more than 2 years to pay his gambling debts, including impersonating the athlete on 24 occasions in calls to the bank, according to a plea agreement in the case. The 57-month sentence was awarded for one count of bank fraud. On a second count for subscribing to a false tax return, he was given 36 months to be served concurrently. Prosecutors called the scheme deep and extensive fraud that Ohtani was harmed substantially by Mizuhara's actions. So obviously this was a fucked up case that we covered, right, once again, about a year ago. Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers went on to win the World Series, so that was a big deal. Clap it up if you're a Dodgers fan or just an Ohtani fan. I mean, he literally is like the LeBron in Japan. Like, people were just going nuts over him just doing stuff. And I mean, hell yeah, he's a cool player. But I remember this moment with Mizuhara getting busted for gambling. There was another guy who was essentially a bookie for Mizuhara, and he got implicated that he's like, hey, there's this guy who has been doing bets for, him and or Ohtani. So I've been doing that. That's on my book. Yeah. And that implicated Shohei Ohtani, and it became a whole big deal. a whole huge route. Because in baseball, you're not allowed to gamble. That's an illegal activity. So for someone as big and famous as Shohei Ohtani, that's crazy. Like, I can't believe he's tied to this. But Mizuhara has completely copped to it. I know I had my speculation hat on, and I made some speculation. Maybe you could say maybe even a little conspiratorial. I don't know. Who can say? But I would say now, at this point, legally, Mizuhara has copped to it and has a whole sentence. I would say it is what it is. Otani's clean. You know what I mean? He's good to go. Not that he needs my stamp of approval. But yeah, I feel like Mizuhara did act alone here, because here's the way I kind of sum this all up. If there was any real evidence that would have been used by the court of law, by a prosecutor, I think it would have gotten brung up, whatever. Or if it was even crumbs, there would be some kind of social media person, some kind of content creator who couldn't help but go to TikTok or some kind of YouTube video and say their proof, their evidence. And I just haven't seen or heard any of that. So that leads me to the whole Occam's razor thing, where you just gotta say, well, Mizuhara is a guy who said he did it. There's evidence of that. And essentially he's like, yeah, it was on me. So what is there to really say here? I think Ohtani is clean on this shit. But yeah, 5 years, that's a lot of time. Also, hold on, I'm gonna get to this. I don't want to miss this part. This is something the judge mentioned. This is one I wanted to get to, though. The judge also raised the fact that Mizuhara had more than $34,000 in his personal account when he took his first $40,000 from Ohtani to pay his first debt. Also, Mizuhara, like I had mentioned a lot of times, how he felt like he was really underpaid. He was also in a situation where he's like a year-to-year contract, so he felt like he was too scared to like speak up for himself because he could just be fired and replaced, even though he had like a really good relationship with Ohtani. Like him and his wife, Mizuhara and his wife, and Ohtani and his wife would go on like double dates and shit. So they seem to be pretty homey. But that being said, I mean, I can understand that you're like, yeah, but if I pipe up too hard here, I could lose my whole job. That doesn't give you the green light, though, to just start rampantly gambling millions of dollars. Not to mention, it's not your money. It's not house money. It's the baseball player's money. It's not yours. So, yeah, that's fucked up. Shouldn't do that. You got a gambling problem. So, yeah, I mean, which is something he has mentioned and admitted. But yeah, in addition to the prison sentence, the government asked for 3 years of supervised release and restitution of $975 and $10. Jeez, that's such a weird number to say. And then to Ohtani, and $1,149,000 and $4,400. Yeah, I'm good with numbers, right? To the IRS. So I mean, dude's gonna be in the hole for life. Also, he stands to be deported to Japan after he's done with his 5-year sentence. So I mean, in a Trump administration, well, I mean, I guess it might be right after a Trump administration, but I mean, like I said, I mean, there might be conservative back-to-back here. Hell, it might even be a Trump back-to-back, even though I know people will say that's not legal. That's not legal, but speculation has back on. Anyway, after butchering numbers, millions of dollars, because I'll never see that amount, let's go ahead and close out. We have one more thing I wanted to cover. I'm done with baseball. I want to talk about eggs. And I want to talk about crime. True crime. I don't know. Anyway, let's take our last break, and we'll go ahead and close it out. Okay. All right. Warming up. No. From the Associated Press, the heist of 100,000 eggs in Pennsylvania becomes a whodunit that police have yet to crack. I gotta say, credit where credit is due. That's a bar. We love a good pun. We love when they're intended. So yeah, good start. The heist of 100,000 eggs from the back of a trailer in Pennsylvania has become a whodunit that police have yet to crack. 4 days after the theft that law enforcement say could be tied to the sky-high cost of eggs, no leads have come in. Trooper First Class Megan Frazier, a spokesperson for the Pennsylvania State Police, said Wednesday, "We're relying on leads from people from the community. So we're hoping that somebody knows something and they'll call us and give us some tips." So they're looking for some egg snitches. Let's just say it. Police are following up with any possible witnesses and looking into surveillance footage that could help them identify the perpetrator as they race to solve the mystery. In my career, I've never heard of 100,000 eggs being stolen. This is definitely unique," said Frazier, who has had a dozen years on the job. Shut the fuck up. The pun. It was ready. It was historical. It was founded. God, I love that. Anyway, they talk about bird flu. That's the reason. It's crazy that a couple years ago, though, we were talking about this shit, and it was higher at that point. It got up as high as $4.82. Now, though, it's $4.15 in December. That's the average cost of an egg. I've said this before. I do not feel egg inflation because I think eggs are kind of icky. That being said, one way or another, we all feel the shit. Like, whether you're buying eggs directly, whether you're at a restaurant, there's going to be some way. If there's egg in your dish, if there's egg used to cook it, whatever, the price of it's going up. So, like, yes, I do feel it, but I just don't feel it indirectly as in terms of I'm in the grocery store looking at a crate of eggs thinking, maybe it's robbing time. You know what I mean? Maybe it's times that I need to get my lick up. I'm glad I don't feel that way. For me, it's ground beef. You know what I mean? That's where I go, damn, no, I need this meat. Give me the meat. Please, I need that meat. Anyway, definitely an interesting caper. Definitely would be good with capers. But that being said, I don't know, man. Maybe I want him to get away here. Maybe I want this chicken run to be successful. Call me crazy. Call me fucked up. But, like, yeah, eggs are expensive. And whoever this is like, I'm going to make a lick here. I'm going to hit this fucking truck. And you got to think that is such a limited window. Also, it's worth mentioning because of the total price, this is a felony. I should mention this. The 100,000 eggs were snatched from the back of Pete and Gary's Organics distribution trailer on Saturday, about 8:40 p.m. in Antrim Township, according to the police. So I could imagine you're going into Pete and Gary's. You're looking for that good. You're looking for that fucking wet egg, and they got nothing for you. They've literally been run up. They've been done up. Fucking Wild Wild West style. Their shit got scrambled. Okay, I'm done. I had to do a little couple puns for myself, Anyway, that's where I'll leave it for today. Shit's crazy out here. Plans are hatching. Things are afoot. But yeah, that's the episode. If you'd like to help out, become a Patreon member, a newsie, if you will. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. That's where you can find my Patreon and give me money. Give me some money. But also, it's a tip jar. You get some old dusty ass episodes that were like some practice things on some things. But whatever. Also, maybe some juicy lore. There's like a pearl of that there. But, also you can just get on there for free. You're not a newsie. You won't get the shout out, but for free, you can just at least see the little episode but not click it, and you can contact me there. But other ways you can contact me, IsaiahNews1 at IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Did I say the first one right? I'm in the weeds. Things are working. Patreon.com, so it's Isaiah News. Like I said, that's that. Then IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. That's the free way to hit me up. Any of the socials also work. You can hit me up on X, the Everything app. You can hit me up on Mark Zuckerberg's apps, Instagram. You can hit me up on Facebook. You love Facebook. So much drama on that app. Not that there's not drama on X, but it is different. It's just different. Anyway, YouTube. You can hit me up on YouTube, I guess. You could hit me up in the comments of this episode, and that would help the algorithm. While you're doing that, you should have already been subscribed. We're not at 100 yet, but I will say shout out to getting to 93. I love that. Not my favorite number. We like a good 100. You know, like I said, I'm not great with numbers. When you get all odd and weird and stuff, I don't like it as much. I like clean zeros and like big figures. You know what I'm saying? No, anyway, but just hit the subscription button. It keeps you up to date with an episode. You can hit the follow on Spotify. If you're listening on TikTok, you know the vibe. I really need to change my profile picture on TikTok, huh? If you know, you know. I don't want to change it though. I think it's funny, and if I do change it, I think I'm gonna change it to like something of the same ilk. But whatever, you can hit in the comments about that if you want. I don't know. I don't care at this point. We're at the end of the episode. I'm just riffing. I'm just rapping and yapping to you. If you make it this far every single time, that's crazy. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. But it's okay. I'm fine with talking with myself. I wouldn't mind doing this. Like, there's episodes I've gone 50 minutes. I would be okay. That's a goose egg. I need you to understand that that's my problem. That's my freak. Okay? Anyway, I'm putting them on a leash. That's the episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.